Use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
Yeah, we sort of stopped paying attention and racked up a lot of debt.
Yeah, it was stressful. He blamed me for my credit card debt, and I blamed him for building that man cave.
It's awesome. Anyway, we stopped blaming each other, did our homework, and read that a smart way to consolidate debt is to get a fixed-rate loan. But getting a loan was brutal.
And a time drain.
So I was in my man cave researching personal loans, and I found Best Egg.
Yep.
They have an A-plus rating with the BBB, and Best Egg handles everything online, start to finish.
And Consumer Affairs gave Best Egg 5 stars for their easy online loan app. And we could be approved and funded in as little as 1 business day. I applied online with no impact to my credit score.
She always takes credit for my wins, but long story short, she got an awesome loan, paid off our cards and some bills while lowering our monthly payment. The Best Egg loan was like a total fresh start.
Yeah.
Visit bestegg.com/blue. bestegg.com/blue.
Subject to credit approval. Actual rates, fees, and approval times will vary.
Welcome to Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We got a chilly 64 degrees out here. Anyways, guys, I'm joined with Oklahoma Brian and Florida Rick. And, you know, before we start our segment, because we have got a real interesting, couple of real interesting stories today. Guys, I want to mention to all of our listeners and viewers that once again, Florida Rick and Oklahoma Brian a combined 5-0 yesterday with Milwaukee, Portland, over Sacramento, Patriots game under, and the Minnesota Timberwolves 5-0 again. You know, I mean, you guys are just beyond red hot. Everybody thinks we're getting tomorrow's newspaper.
That's right. I was awoken early this morning and told I had to provide a urine specimen. I'm not sure where that request came from, but I guess that goes with territory. We're red hot.
Red hot, yeah, Rick.
Just seeing things clearly right now.
Rick, you're in a zone, brother. You're in a zone right now.
I love giving away the talking about the dog money lines that all keep coming in. Those are the most fun picks to give out. You know, plus 160, plus 170. You know, even the football games plus 300, plus 500 dogs. There's nothing beats that. You know, you win 1 or 2 of those, and that'll make up for 8 losses on straight plays. So, you know, if we can keep hitting a few of those, everyone will keep being happy. And
then what about your take on this Patriots game? You almost called the final score. You said it'd be about 24-10. I thought you said 23-24-6. Ended up 25-6. So you were like right there. Perfect.
Yeah, well, it's kind of played out exactly how I thought it was. A big under. The Patriots, you know, they didn't open up their whole playbook. They were just happy to get out of there with a win. They weren't looking to blow anybody out. Of course, the Jills were going to have a hard time scoring no matter what they did, and I mean they got 6 points on the board. They almost had a late touchdown, but Derek Anderson does the typical Buffalo Bills thing and throws an interception touchdown, which I think happens at least once every week now. So it played one of those type of games that it's going to be like an ugly win. You see a lot of field goals, a lot of punts, and I didn't know who was. I didn't think the Patriots were even going to cover, but they weren't going to. The Bills were covering the whole game until that late interception touchdown. So that's why I never was going to play the side. But America's worst better. He catched again.
Oh my gosh! Hey, but
that's
guys,
I was going to say that what a lucky win that was. Feel bad for everybody that had Buffalo that was totally the right side last night, but stuff happens. Speaking of the Bills, so next week, is there a chance we get another edition of Nathan For You? That's my favorite NFL show the last couple of years. Chance we might get Nathan Peterman starting next week?
I don't see any other options right now. I think that's their only quarterback on the roster. I saw they signed today Terrell Pryor, but I think they're obviously putting him as a receiver for now. But I guess emergency quarterback, they could use him. I would rather have him right now than Nathan For You. But what do you think about the possibility of them going to Jim Kelly's nephew and taking a shot with Chad Kelly? What do you think about that? I know we talked about that earlier.
That would be the only team in the NFL that would be desperate enough to sign Chad Kelly. Frank, I don't know if you know the story with Chad Kelly, but he went to a Halloween party at Von Miller's house last week and was in costume. And I guess he had a really good time, I guess, at this party, because he ended up walking out, wandering the neighborhood, and walked into a complete stranger's house, sat down on their couch, and was just mumbling stuff. I guess the wife was sitting on the couch with a young child when Chad Kelly came in. The husband comes out and attacks Chad Kelly with a vacuum cleaner, hits him over the head, and that was that was it for Chad Kelly's career in Denver. And I believe this might be the answer to a trivia question. If anyone's ever done it, this Chad Kelly did. Chad Kelly now holds the distinction of being kicked off of his high school, college, and pro team. I don't know if anybody's ever hit the grand slam, but Chad Kelly now has.
High school, college, he's got the trifecta in now, right?
He's got the trifecta. So in terms of him going to Buffalo, yeah, I guess that would make sense. That sounds like the kind of guy that Buffalo would sign. I would still rather have a drunken Chad Kelly over a fully sober Nathan Peterman. But I would suspect that if Chad Kelly's going to sign anywhere, it's going to be at a rehab facility in Malibu. Probably not another NFL team.
But you know what? I always like to root for the underdog. Maybe that's sometimes it's the last step that this guy needed, and he can come back. And who knows? 2 or 3 years from now, we might be talking about a great quarterback. I doubt it, but it's good to know.
Yeah.
But guys, we've been doing a lot of work on this. Because Brian, when you mentioned to us that today, here's Kurt Morgan on Fifth Street Social. Kurt Morgan's coming. I'm on fire with you guys. It's like Back to the Future movie when Grandpa Biff stole the sports almanac and went back in time. Or like the book in Replay, with Lee Grissom. Wakes up 20 years younger and he knows the final score to everything. But Kurt, you can thank Florida Rick and Oklahoma Brian for that, brother. Guys,
let me just say this while Kurt's a big Clemson guy. So I would, believe it or not, this Clemson game is going to go to 40 and beyond. I think it closes around 41. If you haven't already bet Clemson, I probably would click on that Clemson side now, because it's going to be the right side come Saturday.
Hey guys, we've been doing a lot of work, and I really wanted to run this by you because Brian, remember you mentioned that tonight the BCS releases its first polls, right? Correct?
Yeah, we get the official BCS rankings that have all of the different variables that they have cooked into their recipe, right?
So let's jump the gun here because you guys are way ahead of the trend, and wait, let's jump the gun and do some mock matchups. What kind of lines we would put on these certain matchups before the BCS releases. You're going to hear it here on Fifth Street Sports Talk you can bet on. Let's get some of these mock lines and matchups that we put together. What's your first, Brian? Give me your first two.
Well, I suppose that the first game would be the game that everyone wants to see, which would be Alabama and Clemson. That's kind of the game that we all assume that we're going to see at some point. So yeah, that's the first one, and I'll let Rick go first.
But what do you make it? Or Rick, what do you make Alabama and Clemson?
Well, since obviously this will be a neutral site game, I would make Alabama at this moment in time. I would put Alabama about a 9.5 point favorite over Clemson at a neutral site be the Orange Bowl or Jerry World.
Okay.
Just
I'm going to come in. Yeah, if this were The Price is Right, I would come in at $1 right now. I'm just saying. Although, do you ever wonder, like, you don't really have to come in at $1. You should probably, if I'm on the show, I think I would improve on that strategy. So I don't have to come in at $1. I'm going to come in where I think the line is, and I'm going to say 7.5.
7.5. So Rick's at 9.5. You're at 7.5. I'm gonna make the game. I'm gonna make the game Alabama 6.5 minus 20.
There you go. That's reasonable.
Okay.
The difficult thing with making Alabama lines is they haven't really had to play 4 quarters all year. So you're basically comparing, one half of Alabama to a full game of many other teams. It's hard when they get into good opponents, to make a line and we'll see. Alabama's also has not played a significant defense all year. I think the top-rated defense they have this year, that they've played this year, it sounds crazy, but I want to say of all of their 8 opponents or 7 opponents, the highest-rated defense is the 90th defense in the country. Is that crazy or what?
Yeah, but this week they're gonna now, they went up to 14.5 against LSU, so they're gonna get a bit of a trial this week.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're gonna make that one, okay, because we got to get ready for a break. When we come back, let's run about 5 or 6 of these mock matchups before the BCS comes out. So when some of our listeners and folks here, guys, we're getting ready for a break. Fifth Street Sports, Oklahoma, Brian, Florida, Rick, Frank Perez. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down, 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
All right, folks, we're back here on 5th Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez. I'm joined by Oklahoma Brian and Florida Rick. We're on the Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network. Also on Facebook.com/5th Street Sports Talk and on Twitter at 5th Street Sports. Guys, we did our first mock matchup, Alabama over Clemson. We went from 6.5 from me, 7.5 Brian, 9.5 Rick. Okay, guys, what about this one? Give me something on this one. Michigan versus Clemson.
Okay,
Brian?
I'm just going to take a stab at this one.
Rick?
I'll go first, Brian. I'm going to say Clemson is minus. I'll make them on a neutral field. I'll make them a flat 7 against Michigan.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I'm going to say it's a little bit higher. I'm going to say I'll say 7.5, 8. I'll say 8.
8. Okay.
8's good for me. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Clemson 6. All right. Now let me throw in, and let's go in the same order because we got a good rhythm. Clemson versus Oklahoma.
Okay. You want to start off? Or you want me to? I'll go first for this one.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. This is an interesting game. Clemson for sure is favored. I'm gonna make them 5.5.
Okay. Rick?
Okay. I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to make them 7.5.
Wow. Well, I'm going to, you guys are just way too chalky for me. I'm going to make Clemson 4. Okay. Here's one now. Let's get back to some more realistic ones. Alabama, Notre Dame.
Wow. That's a big line. I don't know what point you say, enough's enough. I'm going to take Notre Dame now. But I'm just going to start it off and say, off the top of my head, the first line that comes to my mind is 16.5.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna take your 16.5. I'm gonna raise you because if they're 14.5 at Death Valley, and LSU is a superior team. Sorry, Notre Dame fans, but LSU's a better team, and they're a 14.5 point favorite in Death Valley. I mean. Yeah, this sounds gross, but I want to say 18 or 18.5. It's really high. You'd be shocked at how high this number would be if they actually play.
Okay, now I'm going to check raise both of you guys, and I'm going to say Alabama is going to be minus 20.5, minus 20. Not that 21.
You might be right.
I don't think they can give them that 21 because it's just a little bit. I'll say 20.5 minus 20. All right, so we got, now here's another Alabama. Alabama, Oklahoma.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go right away with this one, and I'm gonna put Alabama 11 over Oklahoma. Ooh. Neutral field.
Well, I can envision how I think this game would go. I mean, you have to hesitate about making it too big because when Alabama. Especially if it wasn't the championship game and they met in the quarterfinal or the semifinal stage and there's still one more game to be played, I could see, I hate to invoke the image of Milton Berle again, but I could see Alabama I could see them building a really big lead at halftime and then Oklahoma's offense kind of chipping away backdoor style. But I still think it has to be double digits. Yeah, you make it 11. I'll make it 12.5 or 13. But I could see why people would like Oklahoma in that matchup.
Yeah, me too. I'll make it 11.5 myself. Okay, we got what? Let's do one more Alabama. Alabama, Michigan.
Okay, so I mean, you have to take kind of the other lines we made and then kind of base it off of those. And I would put Michigan slightly better than Oklahoma, so I would about the same. I'd put Alabama as a flat 10 against Michigan in a neutral field.
Wow. Okay, Brian.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're on the right track, and I would say it has to be a little bit smaller. So I'll make it 10.5. But I actually think Michigan could. I think they're one team. Obviously, Clemson could be Alabama. They're the closest team to Alabama. But of the next tier teams, I could see Michigan maybe mucking it up and making kind of an ugly defensive game. So I would really like their chances to win the game outright a lot more than I would Oklahoma's. But I'll make it 10.5. 10.5, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'll make it 10. I'll make it 10. But you know what? I think in all of our matchups, I think it's silly to not do like Alabama against somebody else, right? I mean, it's going to be Alabama somebody, right?
Yeah, because they're going to play two of these teams. Yeah.
Yeah, I like just fill in the blank. Well, so we more or less covered the BCS. I sure hope that we're right on these standings when they come out tonight. But here's one for you guys. I was reading an article today, and you know how like Vegas for gambling is like the Coca-Cola, the soft drinks? The handle in Las Vegas by the Nevada Gaming Control Board for September was $571 million. They set another record, which, by the way, they held 11% overall in gambling. That's another, not a record, but that's, a record win of $54.5 million. But with all the with all the gambling legalized nationwide, they said, oh, it's going to hurt Vegas. It's going to do this. It's going to take away a lot from the economy here in Vegas, as the sports betting economy. We have a record handle. What do you guys think of that?
How is that even? I don't understand. I mean, when I heard those New Jersey numbers in the early fall, I couldn't believe those holds. They didn't seem like there was anything that was even mathematically possible. And now I hear Vegas holding 11%. I mean, how do you even begin to explain an 11% hold when they're essentially dealing sports that should be holding 4.5%, maybe a little more on parlays and futures, but
yeah,
that's amazing. Well,
but
how do you explain that?
You can tell that there's a lot sharper bettors out here, because we handled 571 million, held 11. In New Jersey, they handled 184 million and held 24 million, almost 14%. I mean 24%. Excuse me. Unbelievable just how poor these guys gamble out there. But at least you could tell that the sports books everywhere had a great month. But there's no more weekends left in October. Wait till you see the numbers for October. This time it's in the players' favor.
I got one for you guys. You guys are all of us here were around in the early days of the internet industry, and one of the greatest things as a player was sign-up bonuses, right, during the early 2000s. Can you see a scenario with New Jersey books or some of these East Coast startup books offering 10-20% sign-up bonuses, kind of the way that the offshore industry did back in the early days? If the hold is really 14% or 11%, I mean, I could maybe see it.
I don't see it happening. I don't see it. I think they do enough. They get so much business as it is. There's no need for them to even offer that, because people are going to play regardless. And especially in New Jersey, where they have one out, one book to play at, one line with baseball lines. I think there's like 30-cent lines, 30 cents juice. They're still playing. And the football, I think it's probably just as bad, and they're still playing. And they're not even they're kicking out sharps, even with those lines. So, and they're still getting these record numbers. So I don't think there's any reason for them to ever offer any kind of sign-up bonus as an incentive.
For sure. That's like Walmart issuing coupons,
But they're actually, I was kind of surprised to see how many. There are quite a bit of a variety of shops, though, in New Jersey. I had no idea there were so many different brands. But I would say it probably doesn't happen, but I wouldn't be shocked if it did. I do think we learned as an industry back, 15 years ago, or whenever that last phenomenon of sign-up bonuses happened, that we really, as an industry, miscalculated how loyal the the gambler was. We thought that we could offer a bonus to a player, they would stick around for the next 30 years. And the reality is, the second that player could move next door to your competitor, they did. There's no loyalty, and for that reason, I would think it'd be a mistake. But
no,
I hope it happens.
And then and here's one for you. Like, we don't have any more weekends left in October for the Nevada numbers from October. The last 2 weeks in here in Las Vegas have been some of the worst 2 weeks ever for the Nevada Sportsbook. So in October, watch this. In October, when their numbers come out, because of these last 2 horrible weekends, and they got no more outs because there's no games until, November, and meaningful games. When these numbers come out here in October, they're going to be near break even for the month. So Nevada's going to say, well, we had a great August and September. We did great. We only won 1 or 2% in October. We had a horrible month. New Jersey will probably say, like, we had a horrible month. We only won 12.5%. You know what I mean? Yeah. Watch, because they're used to 24. They don't know any better.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna feel
or 15
artificially confident going into college basketball and start taking bigger, size bets than maybe they would have ordinarily, and get stung with college basketball a little bit.
Yeah, I can't wait till they get stung a little bit. I want to just see how these little brats react. They got off to such a big start. Holding 15%, having these great months. Wait till they get a couple of these months with the college basketball and the real sharps coming in, big teasers, bowl games, landing on numbers. I wonder how these little crybabies are going to be when they only hold like 7 or 8%, It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. But guys, so we got, but that goes to show you the resiliency of Las Vegas. I've been here 54 years, and I've always heard, I remember in '78 when Atlantic City opened, it's gonna hurt Vegas, this gambling in California, the poker rooms. Sorry, baby. When it comes to Vegas, they're like the Coca-Cola of soft drinks. They're not going anywhere. We'll be right back. 5th Street Sports, Oklahoma, Brian Frank Perez, and Florida Rick.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the sports talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
This online bank was foreclosing on us. They even had documents that I signed for a home equity loan, only I didn't. What a nightmare.
She's the victim of a devastating crime called mortgage fraud. Your home's title and mortgage are kept online, where thieves, foreign and domestic, hack them. It's simple. They forge your title and borrow every penny of equity you have in your home, like this police officer.
I know about title fraud. So I registered with Home Title Lock and discovered some thief had already taken over title. Thank God I found out in time.
No bank, identity theft program, or insurance protects you. Home Title Lock will. For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a barrier around your home's title and mortgage. The instant it detects tampering, they're on it, helping to shut it down. Find out if you're already a victim of title fraud. Get your $100 search free with sign-up. Visit HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Hi guys, Fifth Street Sports, we're back. It's Frank Perez, Oklahoma Brian, and of course Florida Rick. We are on Sports Nation, Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio Network, and also on Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. You know, and you can watch us and you can stream us live on YouTube, by the way, at Fifth Street Sports. Well, guys, Rick, you know what? Oh, listen, we got a Fifth Street Social just came in, a Fifth Street Social. Brian Wilson, I need an NHL lock tonight, Frank. What do you have for me? Well, Mr. Brian Wilson, I don't have anything yet, but while we're talking, I'm going to look inside some of my Sharp accounts. Maybe I'll find something with you that we're going to play. But, Rick, it's coming to the point where the way you're giving out games and as hot as you've been, when you come on the air, because everybody's been on the social wanting to hear you, it's like the state of the Fifth Street Social address. So you got the, it's the truth. So Rick, what do you got for our listeners and viewers on tonight's games?
There's a couple NBA games I have my eye on, and at least one of these Maction games that I'm pretty set upon. So I'll first dive into the NBA. Tonight, game 503, 504, the Heat are playing at Charlotte. If you paid attention last night, the Heat had a horrible performance at home against Sacramento. That was coming off their brilliant performance on Saturday against Portland. And now they go back-to-back nights traveling to Charlotte. And these are situations where you always want to be on the team that performed poorly the previous night. So they usually, are excited to get back on the court, want to show what they have, want to show they're a much better team than they were the previous night. So I like the Heat a lot tonight, getting 3.5 or 4 if you can still get it. And I really like them in the money line. Plus about 155 plus 165 in that range. I think that's a super money line play. I actually expect the Heat to come out tonight really strong from the opening tip and win this game. I don't know about with ease or not, but I fully expect them to come out of this game with a win.
Okay, we got you down for that.
I got a question for you, Rick. So using that same logic, going to Cleveland, right? Speaking of teams that have played bad that should turn it around, Cleveland, is this the first game without Tyronn Lue?
Yes. It's their first game without Mr. Lue.
I know we like to joke about it, but it really is, I think, a real phenomenon in the NBA. It would make sense when you fire your coach and you get a new coach. We like to use the analogy of first-time Lasix in horse racing, right? You get that burst, and that one it's not sustainable long term, but what do you think? You like Cleveland on the bounce back after the new coach?
Yeah, this is a very interesting game. I would personally stay away from it because Cleveland opened as a 3-point favorite. The public is clamoring to be all over Atlanta, and 60% of the tickets are at Atlanta as a 3-point dog. They opened at. Of course, if you look at all the big money, it's all coming out in Cleveland. Line's actually moved up from 3 to 4.5. So Cleveland seems like the right side. I would only want to be on Cleveland, but I'm definitely going to be on Cleveland as a favorite, and especially with a 1.5-point line move in a game where every single half point matters. So I would stay away as far away as I could from this game. If somehow you were lucky to get him at 3, congrats to you. I still don't think it's a great play because you still have to cover a number with Cleveland. So, I would pass. But if I had to take a side, you give me a free bet, I'll take Cleveland. I'll lay the points, but I don't want anything to do with this game. That was definitely not the other game I had my eye on tonight. But since you said it, if you do, all the power to you. I hope you win it. The other game
I agree with you. I think it's a move too much. Yeah, I agree. What's your other game?
The other game I was looking at was Toronto. The similar position as Miami. Toronto coming off that poor performance last night. They're playing their first game without Kawhi Leonard, who's been just on fire this year. As everyone kind of thought he would be back to his normal form after sitting out all last year. Toronto is a 6-point favorite. The line hasn't moved, still 6, and they're going to be Kawhi Leonard's back in the lineup. They want to show everyone what type of team they are, and I think Toronto's the best team in the East as long as he's healthy. And Toronto laying 6 at home tonight after last night's debacle on the road in Milwaukee. I like Toronto laying the 6 here. I'm not much of a favorite guy, but I expect for them to get this one done at home and cover this number, by at least 3 or 4 points.
How about the 2 football games? Brian, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, so this is in terms of the NBA, I always think that the concept of back-to-back is kind of a overbeaten concept. Like NBA teams travel much better than they did in the past. They can handle travel, but I still, this is a scenario I hate, and I believe this is the case, right? Toronto was on the road last night. They're coming back home tonight. This is the most. Is that right, Rick? Yeah, this is the most dreaded. So this is the most dreaded scenario in the NBA. Is on the road on night 1 and back home in night 2. Back to back on the road, no problem. I actually think it's an advantage to get a good night's sleep in at the hotel. But when you come back home the second night, it really, in recent years, it's the worst subset of scenarios is NBA team coming back home on the second night. Teams typically get in, 3, 4 in the morning. They've got the wife or the girlfriend or the baby mama, whoever, waiting for them. They don't necessarily get a lot of sleep. It's not like the Marriott or the Sheraton where you can, sleep till 1 o'clock. You go home, and if they have kids, the kids are jumping on the bed. People wake up, sun comes in.
Right.
Quality of sleep is way worse. And there's a sleep strategist that does a whole write-up on the scheduled losses in the NBA. She frequently points at this as being a really trap scenario, is coming home on the second night of a back-to-back. So I'll just throw that out. Well, I'll probably mention it a dozen times this year because it's really one of my favorite scenarios to fade against. But everything you said makes sense in that game, Rick. I'll just throw out a game that I like in the NBA, and I don't have a real sophisticated write-up on this. There's something crazy going on with the Sacramento Kings. I'm going to play them over every night until and I know that Orlando's actually not as crazy as an over team, but Sacramento's, it's like they're on drugs. Maybe they are. I don't know. They're a really high-scoring team this year. Can't make totals high enough, in my opinion, on Sacramento games. I'm going to keep betting Sacramento. I gave them out last night against the Heat. It won easy. I'm playing it again tonight. It opened. Well, wow, it's already moved 5 points. So that's a little bit of a plus skill.
Under. Move 5 points to the under, Bri. So if you are going to play,
you're
over,
right. You're right.
You're getting a peak number now, and this is something we've talked about. I've mentioned a few times on the show, and me and Bri have talked about this for many, many years. Is that when you see one of these big line moves, you're better off being on the peak number at the opposite end of the line move than you are being in the middle of the line move.
Right.
On its way down or on its way up. So I don't think this line is going down any further at 219.5. If you can get on the over at this number, I would only go over too, because it's already moved 4.5 points to the under.
Great point.
I'm assuming that's probably because Sacramento played last night. So teams players like to go under when teams play back to back, but it doesn't necessarily mean unders at all.
You know what, Brian? I was going to mention something to you because you've been on the Sacramento team over all year since the beginning of the season. You've been mentioning it, but you also picked on them as a really horrible team. They have got some really nice wins under their belt already. They're not as bad as you described them at the beginning, as far as winning and losing.
There's some weird records in the NBA. There's also some teams that we thought were going to be pretty good this year that have disgusting records, one of which is playing tonight, Oklahoma City. Boy, you talk about a team that desperately needs a win, and this is going to be a tough game. I think they're without Steven Adams tonight and possibly someone else. Wow, they're only a 2-point favorite at home over the Clippers. Is that a game you have an opinion on, Rick?
I don't really have much of an opinion, but I would not want to be on Oklahoma City. I would only take Clippers here. I can't be on Oklahoma City right now.
Right, but that's not an official play for you. But this Sacramento team is intriguing, guys. They remind me of the Rockies back in the late 90s or the early 2000s. They would blow their 93 games for the year, but on a lot of given days, they'd beat the Dodgers 11-9. Like they could beat anybody on any day. 11-9, 12-8. Oh, Rockford's in the house, guys. We got Rockford coming in. Let's see what we got over here. You know what that music means? That music means that Rockford is going to release a play, and there it is. Rockford's first pick of the week, game 420, LSU plus 14.5. You see, that's the good thing about Rockford. He waits till the right time. They were 13.5 yesterday. They're 14.5 now. Rockford, I like your pick. I think we agreed on LSU plus 14.5, right? Or 14 yesterday.
We agreed on this yesterday, me and you, Frank. I think Bri was on the other side. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well,
yeah.
Rick, I'm going with you. I mean, last night my wife got really mad at me because she saw me taking the pictures of my kids down, and I put 2 pictures of you on next to my kids. She said, "What are you doing?" I go, "What am I doing? This guy's like 25-3. That's what I'm doing, David."
Well, I feel very honored, Frank.
That's the truth. So. But it's amazing how this Brian always likes to play with fire. As soon as you mentioned Toronto and you gave great things, he has to bring up that road travel, one of his favorite plays. Just loves to just play with a little bit of fire. I wouldn't have said anything. You know what I mean? I said Rick likes Toronto, and until further notice, don't touch that game. You know, don't go against it. Put it that way.
Yeah,
but
I love LSU. I know you do too. We've seen this exact matchup several times before, and we've seen it when LSU's been worse than they are now. I mean, LSU's number 4 in the country. They beat everybody except that one tough spot at Florida, and it's going to be just such an electric atmosphere out there in Baton Rouge. And like Bryce said, there might be some of us that are going to sneak into that game on Saturday night to try to create even more of an atmosphere. But yeah, I'm only going to be on LSU. I don't know if Bry's going to change his mind at the last minute, but I know me and Frank are going to be on LSU. And I can't say I would play any LSU money line, but man, that value you're going to get at this 14.5, you're going to get about plus 600. It's worthy of, definitely a look, because if it's a close game in the fourth quarter, you're going to want to be on that like plus 650.
You know what, Brian, what's a shame is that Nick has not sent you guys Fifth Street sports shirts, because if you guys are going to be at that LSU game, and especially if you get press pass credentials from Sports Byline, if you're listening, there's the 2 guys with the credentials. You can hand it to them. Wouldn't it be cool to have you guys with Fifth Street sports shirts there in the LSU game? That would be cool.
That would be cool.
But of course, Nick hasn't sent them to you, right? Meanwhile, he owes one to Billy Donlin, he owes one to Jimbo Mullins, and then his 2 co-hosts. Very nice, Nick. Very nice. Thank you. So yeah, you guys are going to be there. So Rick, because we don't have too much more time, do you got anything on these 2 college football games tonight?
Well, we love MACtion. MACtion being Tuesday, Wednesday night MAC football game starting in late October or November. And the one thing we've always gone over, or one playing these games, is betting good-sized dogs. So not necessarily 2-3 point dogs, but betting dogs 4 points or more seem to come in at a very high rate. So I am going to be on Miami of Ohio plus 7 tonight at Buffalo. Buffalo's a superior team, but these games on the Tuesday night, it's kind of a weird atmosphere over there, and I always like the points here. I think the money line at plus 230 is worthy of a small play as well. For some reason, the dogs always play well. These odd weeknight road games or games in the MAC. So I'm going to be on my Ohio plus 7. If you can still get 7, it's already moved to 6.5 in some books.
Wow.
We could have, instead of going to LSU, we could have done the Buffalo road trip. We could have gone to the Bills and the Bulls back-to-back nights.
Guys,
yeah, we didn't think about that.
Bring that back when we come right back. We got to take a break. Fifth Street Sports. Stay tuned. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But The Secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517. Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Guys, we're back, 5th Street Sports. We only got a few minutes over here, but one of our 5th Street, we're on Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio Network, by the way. One of our 5th Street social people that they write in, from one of our live streaming sites, Mr. Brian Wilson. He's got the G light on, meaning he wants to gamble tonight. And I know he's got the G light on for hockey. Well, Brian, Mr. Wilson, during the break, I did an Oklahoma Brian, and I spied on 3 of our top hockey accounts. I got 3 plays for you. The Philadelphia Flyers, plus 114. They match a lot of sharp accounts. The Dallas Stars, minus a quarter. Carolina Hurricanes, plus 105 to 110. They all match our sharpest hockey. So if you got the needle tonight, you got the G light on for hockey, there's 3 for you. Any other? Brian, you were finishing up about the MAC. That's the game tonight.
Oh, well, so, yeah, I would say that I agree with Rick in that first game. Miami of Ohio, I think it's worth a money line play if you see a off money line. And then I think we kind of see the second game eye to eye. The over was a strong play from a really respected group, but it's moved like a good 4 or 5 points now, and there's about a 15-mile-an-hour wind. So I would probably I would only go under at this point in the Bowling Green game.
What about you?
I agree with Brian. I think the line's peaked. I think at this number, under is a solid play, and I agree with Brian wholeheartedly on this game.
Well, Rick, here's one for you. Came in on 5th Street Social. They wanted you to clarify something. You know how Brian likes the over in the Sacramento game, but it's moved. But you pointed out to him how it moved down 5 points. Okay, now he likes the over, but the line value went against him, right? Explain to them what you meant about you're better off taking the over now, even if you liked it, versus continuing to follow that under when it's 5 points down. 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, the strong move was on the under earlier this morning, and what I was trying to say is if you go over now at the number of 219.5, which I believe is peaked, I don't think it's going to go any lower. It's a stronger play than if you were to go under, say, 222, 221.5. That's what I was trying to get at.
There you go. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Brian. Hey, folks, we appreciate you. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 5th Street Sports. Thank you once again for listening.
USA Radio News.
President Trump told the